It was an almost hopeless situation. I was stranded on this remote isle with no way to contact the mainland. Only 2 dim rays of hope remained. I kept scouring the horizon for the search party that I assumed and prayed was looking for the Voyager's wreck. Alternatively, the old watchman's note I had stumbled upon last time was a good lead on finding a village, but it was a 3-day trip. I kept listing arguments between staying here and setting out to find a town until my head hurt. Either way, I had to prepare. That included getting an idea of the immediate surroundings, a proper supply of food and water, as well as a stronger, more comfortable base. Thus, I got to work. Hey there friends, welcome. Thank you for joining me once again in this beautiful adventure world, even if it's a little unforgiving and difficult. Thank you for joining because we are in a difficult situation and I need your support to get through it. So in the last episode, we managed to survive. That's already success enough. We managed to find some water, some food, and to make this house, well, at least look like there's someone living inside. We've got a straw bed, we've got a campfire going on there, some candles that we found, and we've got another fire going on here. But we've got 2 bottles of water and some berries for food, and that's really it. Got some hazelnuts and walnuts as well, but that's really not much. As we know, or as we are thinking, we would need to wait at least a couple of days for rescue. So in that time, it's our best bet to make sure that the base is perfectly up to our standards and we've got enough food and water. Now, last time we explored these, whatever remains of this lighthouse, could barely even be ruins anymore, and some of that ruined dock. Now, the shipwreck itself might be a bit too difficult for now, so I was thinking what we should check out is first of all the surroundings. I want to climb this hill and look around first of all, but there was also, I believe, a little bit more wreckage that floated into this bay area that we didn't check yet out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to look around. Other than that, it's a beautiful day. I mean, the situation is a little bit pressing, but I can say this is not relaxing and cozy. You can see that the wind is quite unrestricted on this plain and down to the beach. It's blowing all this grass around. There's some trees in the distance. We've got a trusted rolling pin to defend against any unwelcome inhabitants of this land. Could be wild animals, could be bandits, you never know, but better be safe than sorry. Other than that, we've just got this wooden shovel that we found and used to clean out the house. So already it's quite battered, but maybe we can find some more tools. Hey there, birdie, today as well. Gotta be careful with these sinkholes. All right, so it looks like we're basically on the highest point. Not that there's much elevation difference going on, but I can see another island there in the distance. I can see this meadowy biome. This wonderful, flowery, grassy area extending for quite a long way. I don't see a lot of useful things, to be honest. Maybe there's some fruits on that tree over there, right? That's just... could be a play of my eye, could be some fruits. And we've got the forest there in the distance, and I think some more trees, although those could be the clouds. And... okay, this is just another lower area with some copper ore there that we can't really make much use of just yet. But what I wanted to do is head into this bay, and you can see tiny pieces of the wreckage already floating there. And it's possible that since we've been there last time, there's some more that floated into the bay. Of course, the currents of the sea might have scattered the remains of the airship a little bit, and some of it arrives with later tides. So, it looks like the water is a bit clearer, right? It was quite greeny, and algae colored last time. So we've got there, I think we checked that part out. We've checked this out. Not that one. There's this little island there, so I'm going to head that way, and I think that might be part of the balloon there, because it looks kind of white and red. So let's check that out. If we've got part of the balloon, that's great, because then we can use that to build some covers extending out from the house without needing to do much work with the actual roof beams and whatnot. We can just attach that to the roof or some poles and enjoy the shade. It looks like someone's been cutting down trees here, right? Maybe the old Thompson, the lighthouse watch. The lighthouse watchmen used to come out here for firewood, right? Because these don't even have the bark. Maybe they're dried out. Oh, and oh goodness, the axe itself is here. Alright, now that's some useful stuff, my friends. We've got a stone axe. Alright, that will not just serve as a weapon, if need be, although I'm not planning really to hurt anything just yet. But also, we can use that to remove some of the old rotted wooden elements of the house and rebuild it. So that's really, really useful. Now, I don't want to go too far into the woods because, again, wild animals or whatever is lurking there, as peaceful as it looks right now, maybe it's not so welcoming from the inside. So let me just have a look around out here. There's some coal. No pickaxe to mine it just yet. Some more copper. Let's see what's in here. Oh, there's a barrel over there. I was trying not to fall into the water, but I know Minecraft parkour is a big thing. Not for me. I don't really aim well in games, and I think that's what you have to do most of all. Okay, so we've got gravel and mud. Mud, thank you very much, I will take. Gravel, again, I don't know any use for it just yet. Let's see what else. I think that's everything that this wreckage holds. This barrel's empty. Well, full of water, that is. And let's see what else. I see a beehive over there and maybe some bushes. We'll check out those bushes in a second. But let's see if there's anything on this island. There's some more copper. Oh, some berries. Very nice. That is also coming in handy. Oh. All right, I almost stepped into something very spiky there. Thank goodness I watched where I was going. Take care, friends. Some flowers. Oh, some more flint. Now that's very good. Oh, another piece. I think we can already use this to make a flint knife. Oh yes. Now the flint knife, once again, is essential because all those cobwebs that are... Oh, some more berries? Wow. This bush is just so full of life. So the cobwebs were really difficult to break, and we don't really have a sword or shears to cut them, but I think with the knife we can make quick work of them. Hopefully not meet the spiders who made such tough and big cobwebs. So that is indeed part of the balloon. It looks quite wet and ruined. Don't suppose it will be lifting anything anytime soon. But I don't think I can do much with this. But what is this barrel? Okay. Friends, this looks like this might have been a spare piece of the balloon. Maybe the wool would have been used to patch it up if it received damage not as great as it did and then we fell out of the sky. But this is good. We can, oh goodness, that's so much wool. Very nice. Yeah, we can definitely use this to build a little cover, a little shade next to the house. And again, without wanting to go too deep into the woods, let me check out these bushes over here. Can I just take something off of them? Oh, these are hazelnuts. Excellent. Okay, you know what? I'm going to count my blessings and decide that they're enough. I'm going to just take these hazelnuts. And I think that's everything that we could check out over here. So we've got the flint, made the knife, we've got the wool, we've got some berries, we've got the hazelnuts as well. Although, to be honest, it looks like an acorn, more like. But yeah, maybe that's plenty. It's quite a dark forest over there. As you can see, we don't have the usual health of the average Minecraft character, so we got to be very careful, because, you know, if you meet some wild wolves or dare I say, a bear, we are going to be like that. Just one hit and our adventure is over. So let's go back home instead and not try to encounter any kind of wildlife, or maybe some scavengers, bandits and similar ill-mannered people lurking around there. I'm not getting very hungry, which is, I guess, a good thing, but I am getting a little bit thirsty. So we've got this water. It's not dirty water, but I think we can purify it further, except to build a water purifier in this mod pack. You need, I think, glass, copper, and I think those are the two most important and most rare crafting ingredients for a water purifier. So that is still in the future. Until then, we have to get by on this. In fact, I think what I might do, I don't really have any wood on hand, right? But what we could do is build a wooden bucket, because that is an option here. Quite frankly, that should be an option in vanilla Minecraft. But of course I get gameplay reasons. But we could build a wooden bucket now that we have the axe. I prefer axe on the third slot. We can use the knife as a weapon and then just need a pickaxe for the second slot. That's my go-to layout. Let me know what's yours. I think everybody has their own little layouts that they always stick to. But I think I need one slab. Perfect. And I need 2 blocks. Now, as you know, we're going to be, now that we have the axe, we're going to be remodeling this house, I think, pretty heavily. So we can just use some of this material. For instance, I think this used to be a roof beam of some sort, but yeah. Now we're going to use it to make a bucket. So just turn this into planks, and I think a wooden bucket goes like that. Very nice. Okay, so now we just have to find some fresh water. Being surrounded by sea, that might not be an easy option, so that won't do. That won't quench our thirst. Or well, it will quench our thirst, but it's going to have some other adverse effects on the long run that we don't want. I'm going to drink this water bottle so that we have some more freshness for this trip. And I'm going to head once again uphill and maybe further. We'll see a creek or maybe an inland lake, and hopefully that will do. I actually have been in salt water just recently. I flew back home today from Barcelona. I think I still have a little bit of salty water in my hair. It was a wonderful time. It was a very quick business trip. Didn't have too much time to actually explore the city, but whatever time I did have, or we did have, it was the two of us, we did spend exploring the city. And I got the chance to go to the beach. There was this street workout spot right next to the sea, and oh goodness, was it great. There were so many people, but the workout spot was big as well. I think being so close to the beach and having great weather, or at least not as cold weather as we sometimes have here. I think it's a little bit more in the culture or in the habits of people to just train outside. Kind of looking for some water in the meantime. Don't want to go that deep. So there were so many people, and there was such a lovely atmosphere. Some people were arm wrestling. Someone had a stand there. Others are, making videos, doing pole exercises. Those are mostly ladies, of course. That's a stick. Guys doing all the pull-ups and everything. And so I also went for some exercise and a swim in the sea. It was amazing. I got really tired because the previous 2 days I haven't moved much. But that was just what I needed. It's difficult to restart, right? But when you do, it's liberating. Alright, friends, do you see any water sources nearby? Because I don't. And I'm not very happy about that. Maybe I would like to check a little bit on this side, because I'm walking, but from all this grass I can't see too much. I'm going to start running. It would be nice if the berries restored a little bit of thirst as well, right? Depending on how juicy they are. What is this? Yeah, there's some of these deeper lying areas, and I kind of keep hoping that there will be water in some of them, because that could be fresh water, could be, a little basin that collected some rain, or maybe even a spring that bubbles up in the middle, but I don't see any of that. Yeah, let me just check this area here, and then if there's nothing, we can walk further into the direction we have been going. Yeah, there's nothing here either. Not very promising. So much water surrounding us on this island, but not any that we could drink. Alright, let's keep going in the same direction. We are on our last bottle of water, and the thirst meter's already taken some progress. Some water drops are missing. How do you friends like to spend your time outside when it's such a lovely weather? Here it's actually hotter than I don't know how many hundreds of kilometers to the south and west. So that's a little bit strange. Oh, maybe we can pick that fruit. So I came home, I was like, how can I... Oh, cherry picker. Very nice, we've got some cherries as well. I was thinking, how can I be more exhausted and sweaty here than I was, many more kilometers to the south. But I think the sea has a milding effect on everything, right? Next to the sea you get a bit of humidity, and cold is not so cold, hot is not so hot. It's like a gentle warmth instead. This area is deeper lying as well. There's some of these rock outcroppings that are kind of interesting, but I don't think they're going to provide us with much water. Oh, goodness. That tree is floating, I think. Interesting. Oh, there's some chickens and maybe a raccoon. Oh, we've got an egg. Okay, we're going to hold on to that. Also good to know. But yeah, I don't want to go too close to animals because I don't know which ones might attack me. I think in this mod pack, there's some maybe horses over there as well. Animals can also attack you. Are these wild carrots? Oh yes, they are. Okay, friends, if nothing else, at least we're finding some more food, so that is also very, very nice. Some more hazelnuts too. Some strangely placed grass, but that's okay. Nothing it seems. Let me just walk this way. I don't know what's up with all the grasses and the floating trees. I apologize. I might need to look into the generation properties of the modpack. But I'm getting fairly thirsty. Friends, I might have been very silly. I think it was under our noses the whole time. Look at that. And this is fresh water as well. So I don't know what we missed. I think we've been just kind of wandering around here because it looks very much like the rest of the deeper lying areas, the basins, but this one's got water in it, so well, I'm going to be happy about what we found. So let me drink up and oh, I poured it out. Well, at least we can drink this. So again, this is not purified water, not the best, but it will do for now. One more time. Oh, indeed. Yeah, see, this is what I told you. And that's not poison, that's thirst. And I think it's a similar effect to eating rotten flesh. So yeah, next time we gotta be careful that we purify that water. But let's fill up. Maybe it's going to be enough for a while. Let's fill up this wooden bucket too, and let's get going. Alright, now I feel a little bit better. I was very worried before we found the water, but now those troubles are over, I hope. According to dogma back in the kingdom, a mythical figure called Saint Querstine guides and protects travelers on their journeys. She is often portrayed as a slender woman with long, wavy hair. She combs her curls forever, untangling the path of wanderers as she does. Certainly, all this progress felt like providence. Not only did I find basic tools, handy enough to further strengthen the house, but even the easily reachable parts of the land were bountiful with nuts and berries. Finally, a small, exposed basin in the rock contained fresh water. Well, fresh might be an exaggeration, but it tasted relatively clean. Refreshed? It was time to rebuild the house. Well, now that, once again, we don't have to worry about food or water or warmth, it's time to work. We're going to remodel this once beautiful house and hopefully give back its old shine. So let me start with putting some of the stuff that we had in these containers. Everything is a little bit unorganized right now. All these cabinets. Let me just put a lot of things in here, because the first thing that we're going to do, we don't need, for instance, the seeds or anything that we can plant, because we can't plant it yet. Alright, all that water, we might end up needing just the tools. Maybe I'll just... I don't have a place for the beach grass. All these notes. Alright, okay, this is plenty of space. So, everything wooden I would like to remove, unless it makes sense to leave it there, because I would like to renew it. But let's start with the cobwebs, because goodness, there's a lot of them. Okay, it's not, I don't think it's as fast as it would be with a sword, or maybe it's because the knife is just made of flint and not a stronger material, but it does the job for now. So what I would like to do is remove most of the wooden elements, reopen that hole up onto the balcony, fix up the balcony, fix the floor of the balcony so that it doesn't have holes in it, and cover the balcony, for which we can use the wool that we found, the spare balloon, or the balloon patch. I would like to craft a door. I would like to introduce proper flooring to this habitation. and maybe once again use that wool if you've got enough, and build a little extension of cover here, under which we can place some storage that, I don't know, we can put some food in there that is sensitive to the sun. Yes, we've got all these plans. I don't need this right now. Of course, yeah, this area, I wonder why there was a window behind the furnace. Maybe it looked very different. Maybe the house, you know, or parts of the house tumbled all over and around when it was ruined. But I would like to patch up this place with some of the pegged mud that we've got already. Okay, that's almost all the cobwebs taken care of. There's a little bit more over here. I'm sorry, spiders. This is now, at least for a little bit, my home. This is very much like real life. I probably will be doing the same thing in my apartment later today. Will you be? It's like doing the dishes, you know? You can safely remind someone to do the dishes, and chances are you will be right that they haven't. Now that reminds me, back in Barcelona, I saw a sign, a street sign, reminding me or asking me if I drank enough water that day in a very vulgar manner. And I was about to think, why do you have to ask it like that? But then I realized, it's right, I did not drink enough water that day. So I guess lesson for the day, 2 lessons for the day. First is, just because someone's got a style that offends doesn't mean that they don't want to help you, and they might be right. Second lesson, people might not react to what you said first, but how you said it. Oh, it's so philosophical. Anyway, let's remove some of this as well and get to work on the wooden parts. These fallen blocks of stone, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. I can't really do much. Yeah, that won't work. But let's clean up what I can. That's wood, and see what we can do about it. Maybe we can build a secondary entrance here with the stairs, something like that. There's a moss carpet that we don't really need right now. I think this is the floor of the balcony that's slid and fell down here. So we're going to use this as well. Maybe. This part doesn't need much work. There's some pieces of stone that fell down, I guess, once again from the balcony. And of course, we've got a hole in there that we ideally wouldn't want. And the fence needs to be fixed. Alright, let's see. I think what makes the most sense if we put a door here. And then make it... or we can patch some of this hole up, and because I suppose this is where the original door was. Okay. Let's make some space for the... if we've got enough durability in the shovel. Let's make some space for the flooring. Oh yeah, that was the shovel. Goodbye. Wow. This stuff now we can break by hand, so that works. Why are the breaking lines so bright? That's a little bit strange. That's okay. That'd be the biggest problem for today. We got these books that I guess need to be put someplace else. And I guess this is a CIT decoration. Yeah, we got some item frames there. That's okay. We can use that to put our own decorations in place. If you're unfamiliar with how we do things on this channel, we place a lot of emphasis on decoration, and of course the previous episode was all about survival, but not all of them will be. And the custom item textures, I think, the CIT is one of the great ways to put decoration on Minecraft builds. And you will see, we'll just see how useful that is. This is some charcoal as well that was put here. That's good. I don't want this plant right there. Thank you very much. Alright, so let's fix or finish the flooring here with what we've got. We've got some dark oak planks, we've got some logs, we've got some mud, which is another contender for possible material, including mud bricks. So I wonder, maybe we should use the mud bricks for flooring and then the wood for the walls. These walls used to be made of stone. I wonder what would look the best. Since I've already got slabs here, let's just use this for flooring. It's not really going to match, I think, because this is spruce, this is dark oak, but it's still better than the patchy grass and sand, I would think. And I think this much will be almost enough. Let's see. Okay. Yes, let's see. Maybe we can find some more wood that's not necessary at another place and use it to finish it. Not really. In that case, we might cut down a tree now that we have the axe. That's a possibility. But I don't want to hurt any of these. They kind of complete the landscape, don't they? Okay, we're going to fix up this area for certain, so I'm just going to use these slabs here, because this is going to look very different. Have we got them? Oh yes, there they are. Good. It's just a stone axe, so again, it's not incredibly durable. We'll need to keep that in mind, but again, for the time, I think it will do just fine. Alright, that's almost enough. Let's see if we've got some more someplace. I'll just use some from here, but don't worry, friends. I know it looks like we're making a lot of trade-offs, but I promise you by the end of this episode... Come on, Bush, leave me alone. By the end of this episode, this house is going to look cozy. That one I can guarantee. And if you've seen any of the previous episodes, which maybe you can check out right here, then you know that I'm telling you the truth, and we can indeed make a lot of cozy things. Alright, some dirt I guess is fine here. So now that looks much better. Yeah, that's much more homely. So let's patch up this area here with the packed mud. That glass is no longer in use, I would think. I'm just going to break this one little piece of wall, no matter how long it takes, without a pickaxe, because it's going to be in the way. Yeah, we didn't even get the piece. I guess there was a window here at some point, but these shutters actually we'll be able to use. Since we don't have glass, we can put them in the place of another window, which is nice. So I'm just going to patch this wall up. We can put another door there. We can leave this hole as a little peek onto the garden, and we can that's another hole. I don't like that. We don't need so many holes. We're going to have actual windows anyway. So I'm just going to break this. Thank you for bearing with me for this one. And there we go. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. These bushes, goodness. That looks a little bit better again. What I would like to do now is take off all of this from the floor, because again it looks like it's just, I don't know, a rain of mud fell onto the house. And we need some ladders to climb up there. We're going to open up that hole that was here as well, but we patched it up, so we need to remove that. And yes, then we fix up the balcony and use the wall. Great. Alright, let's get to it. By the gods, was this task a big one. It made the most sense to start with the balcony. Carefully removing the planks allowed me to repurpose them, and soon enough the holes were filled. Navigation on the beams was a real nail-biter, but I managed to attach the balloon fabric to the roof, then stretch it all the way down to poles in the ground. The roof was difficult. I placed plank after plank with caution, uncertain of the strength of the old beams. Thankfully, it all stayed up there and looked far better than the temporary solution with mud. I went on to weeding the garden and planting some berry bushes, which I hoped would be tough enough to grow in the less than optimal quality soil. As the sun was setting, I gathered a few last decorative pieces, and it was time to call it a day. Friends, when and where have you last seen such a cozy little retreat? Especially one that was built out of a shack, a ruined shack, out of necessity. Now, I think we've got everything, so let me show you around. Come on, I'll show you my crib, as they say. So I put the crafting table over here, and this is just some decoration on top, a little saw with a piece of oak log, I think it is. I left the armor stand there, and of course the storage. The kitchen area remains almost untouched. We've still got all this storage, which is going to be handy later, I believe. And I just put this scalp here so that I can just grab a bite whenever I like. And this cooking pot was cleaned and now it's ready for use. Of course, we still need a fire, but that's not going to be a problem eventually, seeing how lovely of a progress we've made this far. And this water bottle is also just there if we come back for a long day of working and we would like to drink up. It's right there. After I finished that woolen roof, I had some fabric left from the balloons, so I just cut some curtain-sized pieces. And of course, I don't have any glass, so this is kind of covering this hole. But don't tell any visitors. Then I put some more shelves on the walls, books taking place on this one, and just a little flower pot over there. I moved the bed here, and this is all the material I had, but we found some canvas earlier and I just made it into rugs so that I can step off onto something soft in the morning. I just put some of the food that we found over here onto a table. This old door has now been walled off and we have a proper door over here. Double door and a single door towards the garden. So this carrot and these berries are right there. That's so lovely. Of course, the beams that support the roof have been completed as well, because I was a little bit worried that it would have problems otherwise. Of course, the garden has been nicely cleaned out and it's tended to. As I can see right now already, all these berry bushes are already bearing fruit, which is very nice to see. So food's not going to be a problem for a while, I believe. Yes, that's about it inside. The rest you've seen in the time-lapse, I believe. From the outside, the house is mostly untouched, but I mean, even from here, you can see that some progress has been made for certain. What I did outside is, first of all, I took the flower pots from here, and some of these shutters I included. Not that there's a lot of light going into the room, so I don't think I'll be using them much, but they were lying around in the debris anyway, so I just put them here for now. Especially useful when there's no glass once again in the windows. And that's about it. So this area is going to probably house some sort of storage maybe, or even a little, well, we don't really need the campfire and the benches, we've already got that over here, but a lot of storage can be added here if we want to protect anything from the sun or even the wind. And of course, we can always work more on this. So let me know how you like this, and let me know if you've got any suggestions, because even though I'm quite content, I'm always ready to do some more decoration, some more home improvement, especially if the idea is coming from you. So, friends, in this lovely sunset, I thank you ever so much for joining this episode. This was quite the work to put together. I didn't have much time because of the business trip I described earlier, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I think once again we've made excellent progress. If you did like this video, kindly consider leaving me a like, leaving me a suggestion under the video in the comments, and of course subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Maybe if you have any friends who could use some relaxation, I think we've all got those kinds of friends, you can share the video with them and maybe they can use it to chill out. Once again, thank you very much. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.